Hey everyone, this is Sandeep back with 100 days of coding React and Redux. This is day 3 and today I'm going to talk about JSX. So we are going to write a lot of JSX in this video to get a hands-on, a good practice of writing JSX. So let's directly jump into the video. So a quick recap. In the last video, right, I talked about JSX, which is HTML-ish syntax we use to write in React, right? And JSX is nothing but a templating language created by React team. You see the syntax, right? H1, this is more like HTML, right? Hello there, which I'm passing to the render function. So in my Visual Studio Code, just to save time, I have created writing JSX project. Okay, and I have used npx create react app only to create the project. Watch the previous video how I have created the project, or the first video. You'll get the idea. And this project is already running inside my browser. You see here, right? So this is the JSX which I have written, something like this. And today we are going to write more JSX, HTML-ish syntax. So I'll go back to my notes now and let's jump onto JSX, writing JSX. So say suppose if you want to return multiple elements, you need to wrap them with one parent container or a fragment. So let's take this first example. Now I'm not going to type all of the code, because I don't think so you'll like me to type everything, line by line. That's going to increase the length of this video's time. That's why, I have kept this code snippets just to save time. So I'll go back and I'm going to paste this here. So this is nothing but a JSX. I'm going to explain it to you line by line, so no worry. So when you have a JSX which is, more of like a, so if I go back to my notes, right, if you want to return multiple elements, so I have multiple elements here. I have this h3, I have this ul, and inside that I have this li, right? In that case, you need to wrap these particular elements in a parent container. Like in this case, I'm using the div. So I have a div, I have this h3 with contacts, and I have two list element Jimmy and Sonali. So I'm just want to show some contacts, that's why I have created this HTML snippet. This is JSX. So if I go back now and see into my application, if I refresh, I'm not seeing anything. So let's see if we are getting any error. We are not getting any error still. I'm not able to see anything. Okay, so I did a wrong copy paste actually. This is the copy paste error. So I'm just going to paste it again, put a semicolon, save, go back, see that? I'm seeing contacts. I just zoom in a little bit, Jimmy and Sonali. So first way of writing JSX, right? If you want to return multiple elements, wrap them with one parent container or fragment. Let's talk about fragments now. Sometimes, you don't need to use a div or a section or anything. You just need to have this structure, right? You don't want to wrap your elements with a separate div, right? In that case, you can use something called a fragment. And fragment is this. You just need to remove that tag name. And now if I go back and refresh, so initially we were like seeing, if I go into the elements panel, let me, right, if I go into the body, now if you see here, I got h3 and ul. Previously, if I had a div here, okay, what would happen? You'll be able to see a div also here, right? So this is more, it's adding one more extra additional element. And if you don't need that, right, in that case, you can use a fragment. Cool. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to comment this just for your reference so that you have the code, right? Now let's go to the next one. That is, we can show JavaScript variables in JSX using curly brackets. So you can use this syntax, right? So let me copy and paste this code. So I'm going to remove all of this. Okay. So what I did here, I'll start with this line. So I've declared a variable, a const variable, basically name equals to Sandeep. Now look at this, right? Inside this h1, I have this hello there, and if you want to render some JavaScript variables, you can use the curly brackets It's more of a JavaScript expression you can add into your JSX. So now you're making your HTML dynamic, right? This is the beauty of React. Here, React actually shines, right? We not only are having strings, but we are having string combined with JavaScript variables. Great, right? So we'll be seeing the output hello there, and this name Sandeep is going to come there. So I'll go back, see that hello there, Sandeep. This is the power of React, right? Now you must be getting confidence and must be feeling exciting about JSX and React. The next one, even math is possible within curly brackets, right? So I'm going to do it directly. Now again, I'm going to comment this just for your reference, and I'll copy and paste this one. So you can do the maths, right? So I have this h1 element inside that. Anything related to JavaScript, if you want to do, right, you need to use this curly brackets. Just remember that syntax. And I'm doing the addition of number here. You can do multiplication, division, anything. So the output will be 15. See that? You can do the mathematical calculations also. Let's go to the next one. So JSX can display number and string. This is important. Booleans null and undefined will be shown as empty value. This is really important. This can be a question in a React interview also, right? So please keep this in mind. JSX can display number and string. Booleans null and undefined will be shown as empty value. So I have created some variables here. I'm going to copy this. First of all, I'm going to comment this, okay? And I have these variables like count equals to 10, then name equals to Sandeep, then yes equals to true, no equals to false, age equals to undefined, and date equals to null, just to show you the example. So I'm going to copy this, paste it here. And this time what I'm doing, I'm using the fragment. Inside that I have UL and LI. So I'm creating list of element, and I'm saying count, refer to the count. So this will refer to 10. Then name is name, which is Sandeep. The truthy is yes. Now, what is the value of yes? True, right? Falsy is no. So no, the false will come here. Undefined age, undefined will come here. And for null, null is going to come here. So count is a number. So it's going to show that number 10 here. Name is a string. So it's going to show that string Sandeep. But what will happen to truthy? As I said, right? Yes, no, true, false, undefined, null will be shown as empty. So I'll go back. See that? You can see the count, you can see the name, but you don't see the truthy, falsy, undefined, null value. It's empty. Nothing is displayed here. Pretty important, right? Okay. Probably the next one, a couple of, I think we have 2-3 more. So you can use elements attributes. These attributes will be props to JSX, and we're going to talk about props in separate video. For the time being, all these attributes are going to get converted into props. You can remember that. Now again, I'm going to comment all of this just for your reference and paste it here, this. So if you see here, right, we have this input, and input got an attribute of type, so which is going to get converted into props for the JSX. We have a div. Inside that div I have an image. The source is going to get converted into a prop. So you can use properties, you can use attributes also, HTML attributes also inside a JSX. And now if I go back and see, I can refresh, and there will be like different images getting loaded here, and this is my number type. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. Class attribute should be named as class name. Class works with a warning. So you must have heard, right? In CSS, in HTML and CSS, we can write something called a class, right? And class is nothing but collection of styles, collection of style attributes. So here, I'm trying to render this paragraph element which has a class of message and success, data submitted successfully. Obviously, it's not going to show anything visually in the perspective of CSS, but you cannot write a class. You should write class name. This is important, right? So now if I save, go back, See that data submitted successfully. You don't see any visual differences because I haven't written any CSS for that. So message success. You can write class also. That will work. If I save, go back, but you'll see a warning here. Invalid DOM property class. Did you mean class name? So React is helping you here. React is guiding you that did you mean class name? Do you want to use class name instead of class? So yeah, I want to use class name. I can put class name here. Let's comment this. Pretty simple. Let's move on to the next one. That is, you can use JavaScript objects, and probably this is the last one. You can use JavaScript object to style an element in JSX. Now the React is coming in with the power of CSS also. Yes, so you can write inline style in your JSX, right? So I'm going to paste this. If you see here, right, what we are doing, we are taking this div and I'm styling that div with different style attributes. So I'm taking this div and I'm putting a style attribute, and this is nothing but object. So if you want to style any of the element in JSX, you need to use object with a name value pair. This is JavaScript object with a name and a value, and it has to be wrapped in extra curly brackets because this is JavaScript, right? This is JavaScript expression, and any JavaScript expression has to be wrapped with a curly bracket. So style height 200, width 200. So I'm taking this div, giving it a height of 200 pixel, width of 200 pixel, and a background color of purple. And if you see here, right, I'm using camel casing for all different CSS attributes. I'm going to save it. And if you see, we got the box with a width of 200, height of 200, and the color, background color of purple. Cool. Okay, so we learned a lot of different ways of writing JSX in React. Let's have a quick recap one by one. Writing JSX. So if you want to return multiple elements, wrap them with one parent container or a fragment like this div or this empty div. I can say that. We can show JS variable in JSX using curly brackets. So I have this variable name and I can use curly brackets as a JavaScript expression to put a name inside my DOM or inside my string. Even math is possible within curly brackets. Pretty simple. JSX can display numbers, string. This is important. Booleans null and undefined will be shown as empty values. You can use elements attributes. These attributes will be props to JSX, like this type for the number, input type, and the image has a source attribute. And class attribute should be named as a class name. Class works with a warning. Okay, you can use class also, but it will give you the warning, right? So use class name. That's the best practice. And you can use JS objects to style an element in JSX. We did see that example here, right? This purple box, and this is the style. Cool. A mouthful of things, right? A lot of things, but now I can call you an expert of JSX, expert in writing JSX. So I think this video is helpful. You learned a lot of way of writing JSX. Now you're a master of JSX. And in the next video, we'll start diving deeper into React feature. So until then, I'm going to say goodbye. Take care. I'm going to see you in the next video of 100 days of coding React and Redux. Goodbye. Thanks for watching the video.